He doesn't acknowledge that there is structural and cultural reasons for this disparity. And so you're sitting here as like a potential victim in the back of the plane going like, oh my gosh, like he's just going to force this through. And he doesn't seem to care about the fact that if some people can't fly so good.
Some people can't fly so good. Woo, buddy. So recently, I've been getting attacked by the MAGA crowd on X because of the fact that I said, I don't want to watch a video of some guy who says he used to be on the left, but it took him watching a full actual debate from Charlie Kirk to realize that he'd been being fed propaganda from the left. Get the hell out of here. So in this video, I'm going to be playing a whole Charlie Kirk podcast show to show you exactly what he meant when he said, when he sees a black pilot, he's hoping they're qualified for the position. Let's jump into this.
Wants to take it. This is what's going on. So United Airlines, we have the Kirby clip. Can we get to this? Andrew, I want you to riff on this from a PR perspective. You had a beautiful take on it earlier. And we have the Kirby.
So just while they get it, so the reason, of course, it's in the news is people have dug up remarks that United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby made in, I think, 2021. But he says, you know, United Airlines is very committed to making sure that 50% of their pilots are women.
I want to get
color.
that. Yes. And by the way, just Andrew had three really good takes. First, from a PR perspective, of just how the questions were asked. And then, and remember, just like the framing. It's kind of, and I want you to just play this tape, and then I want you to walk people through, just because you listen to this from a PR kind of standpoint. Let's play cut 93, please.
Yeah, that's it.
Military. How is diversity and diversity targets working into the Aviation Academy?
We have committed that 50% of the class of the classes will be women or people of color. Today, only 19% of our pilots at United Airlines are women or people of color. And by the way, from all the data I've seen, that's the highest of any airline in the country.
White males don't just dominate in the cockpits, also in the C-suite at United Airlines.
Well, look, at United, I'm proud of the diversity that we actually have in our C-suite. I think if you look around corporate America, one of the things we do is for every job, when we do an interview, we require women and people of color to be involved in the interview process.
So I just want to say, white males dominate on the hosts of Thought Crime.
This is not a diverse space.
We have 100%. We have a diversity problem.
White male dominated. We know. No diversity. We understand. We get it. We get it. So just to let everyone know, we're starting off this context, right? We're starting off this with him expressing that he wants things to be white male dominated for whatever reason that may be. Got it.
We have a diversity problem here on Thought Crime.
Yeah, we do.
Our demographics here exactly match the demographics of the men who wrote the Constitution.
So Andrew, just riff on this, because the buried lead here.
So as we continue, it's the demographics are the match the people who wrote the Constitution. Okay. Got it. Meritocracy, you know. People should get the position based on their skills, not because of the way they look or their demographics. They should be... Forget it. Forget it.
Imagine Musk pushing back on this. He would basically be like, well, your question's BS. But instead, you have this weak, effeminate, turns out, drag queen CEO that doesn't push back on the premise, doesn't reject the premise at all, instead parrots it back. And there's a striking moment here. 19% of United's pilot corps is minority or women.
Now, no coincidence, 19% of their flights are never on time.
Correlation without causation.
No, they have to get ready.
Yeah, it's a get ready. I was gonna riff on that. I can't.
Why y'all so mad at women, yo? I'm so confused. Like, why are white men on the right so angry with women? We really got to figure this out, honestly.
So here's what's crazy. Going from 19% to 50-50. Blake's still laughing at himself. Going from 19% to 50-50 in 1 year. That he said our class in 2023 in 1 year is actually impossible. And I think, Blake, you made this point. Are there even enough women or minority potential pilots out there that want to be a pilot?
Where are they going to find these people?
It's the funny thing, because
where's the supply going to come from?
There's a diversity.
Why do they believe no one else wants to become a pilot besides a white male? That's odd.
Push in literally every industry in America. So they're like, okay, we need to have more, women and people of color physicists and pilots and finance gurus and film directors.
Don't forget surgeons.
But we can't also it's okay that they're more common than the population in professional sports or hip hop or any of these industries, and we don't want that to go away.
So we're gonna pretend like if DEI didn't exist, a lot of the time white people wouldn't hire black people. And in regards to sports and rappers, I mean, rappers don't make anything near what their record labels make or the CEO of the company. Just being real. Nowhere near it. Man, honestly, a lot of rappers be broke. And then sports players, they're putting their bodies on the line to make the owner rich. Don't get me wrong, they make their money in the process, but yeah, it's very gladiator-like, you know?
And you need only a very basic brain here to do the math in your head and say this doesn't work out. And then, if you just go back to the source, okay, well, like, what's the intake from this? Well, the reason that pilots are all male is to become a pilot is hard. You need a ton of hours in the air to become a commercial airline pilot.
A lot are veterans. Let's just yes.
So you get people who either are veterans, and those go through a pretty tough winnowing process, or people who care enough about it and have the resources to be hobby pilots at a high amount of time.
Or their parents paid for flight school when they're 16, 17, or 18 years old.
Exactly.
Which is a thing of upper middle class society.
It's a thing of upper middle class society. And people of color aren't part of that. And white women are, but they're women. And if they're in upper middle class society, they're taught that they're not going to do anything. They're going to find a man who's going to do everything for them, be upset with them for some reason, and always angry, talk to them like they're shit, I don't know. It seems like a lot of implying that it's based on what you look like and what opportunities you may have had growing up, which DEI is trying to rectify. Like they're trying to give those opportunities to people who didn't have them growing up. Kind of like the white males they believe that did. Am I bugging?
That because soon we'll get Congress just allocating $50 billion to the women in flight program to pay for underprivileged people to just get flight hours, and then they'll just be crashing small planes all over the place.
But I think this is the red pill of the red pill. I've every issue where anyone who's remotely normie in my orbit goes 10 out of 10. It's the flight one. I have to be honest.
Or like surgeons.
Surgeon and flight are the top two, where it's like no one really cares when it's HR managers. No one cared when it was, just kind of paper shufflers or even engineers. But now when it's like, wait, hold on a second. You're going to remove my appendix and you're a black lesbian.
You're a black surgeon and you're a lesbian? You clearly got here through DEI. Actually, no. I was actually valedictorian. Graduated at the top of my class. In high school and college, I'm not. Did you assume I was because I'm black? And I get it. It may be possible that I could have went through that, but since I am actually here as a surgeon, I actually qualified to become one. Whatever standards you feel they may have lowered for me to get the opportunity to become surgeon, I actually still have to pass all the same standards as everyone else to actually get my license to be a surgeon. You know how that works? Oh, maybe you don't, Charlie. Maybe the people of this podcast don't. Or maybe they do, and they just want to lie to all their followers. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, you bring these...
Did you have to go through the same...
I say this all the time
on
the
show.
When
I get on an airplane, I want my pilot to be like, "Hi, this is Chad." Maybe like a little bit of a southern accent.
Chad Buckworth here.
No, Chad.
Blake is fine.
This is my 31,000th hour. I'm kind of bored, honestly.
Yeah, I could do this in my sleep. But I won't.
Hi, this is Chad. Yeah. Oh, hi, this is Chad. Yeah, I'm logging in my 3,800 hour. I guess that means he's a good pilot. I mean, granted, the hours definitely mean that he's a great pilot, whatever number Charlie said, but Chad, white Chad, that's what reassures them. To know that their lives are in the hands of Chad. Chad. Meritocracy, right? Meritocracy. Full context, by the way. Full context.
Exactly. Yeah. I want just like cookie cutter, like pilot. Yeah, this is so easy to me. I don't want LaQuisha James.
They have that like pilot voice,
and she's just like, "Hi, ladies and gentlemen, pray for me."
And he was gonna go full racist right there. He had a lot more to say, but he was sure to be like, "Oh, hold on." So LaQuisha doesn't make you feel safe because her name's LaQuisha. I mean, I haven't met any LaQuishas in my life as a black man, but you know, hey, maybe Charlie can tell you why he would go for a name such as LaQuisha when there's plenty of Stephanies, Amandas, you know, Jessicas. I don't know. There's so many black names of black Americans because they're black American and they can have regular American names all the time, but maybe you guys can tell me if it's not racism.
The truth is it's just this is a creation that the left wanted because
and they think you can't say anything about it because they'll call you a racist. And this is where we really have to take the gloves off and say your name calling will not get in the way of people's safety at 35,000
They're like,
feet.
it's offensive to call someone a diversity hire. You guys are the ones who legally require diversity hires.
Yes.
You are the ones who say we need to hire people based on skin color. If we didn't hire people based on skin color, this wouldn't happen because every pilot would be qualified.
We know that the white men are qualified. Why even waste time hiring other people? You know, why give them the opportunity to gain some wealth and have jobs? White people are qualified for every position except for the ones that we don't want. And even those positions, honestly, those are for our teens when they're growing up so they can make some money. And then after that, everyone else can have them because we're the most qualified because we're white. My name's Chad. You know, I have a southern drawl to my voice. Duh. Like, who doesn't understand that?
At what point and I guess, Charlie, that's to your point, right? It's the point where your life is literally in their hands that you say, all right, I can't do it anymore. Because the lies that you are forced to hold in your head.
19% are already diversity hires. So 1 out of 5 flights, you guys are putting your life in your own hands. This United.
Well, wouldn't it have been great if he just would have pushed back and been like, well, okay, hold on. We're making some headway here. We're trying to, you know, at a young age, want to get them exposed to flying. But half the problem is that it tends to be white young men that want to get into the pilot.
Why does it matter? We want excellence. Well, like, screw you,
but
weird
even just
white
wasn't little pushback.
We want excellence. In Charlie's eyes, excellence is white men, right? I mean, am I mistaken? This is full context, right? That's what we're talking about right now. Full context. He is pretty much saying white men is excellence, which is fine. And I have no problem with him believing in that. He's entitled to believe in that. I'm not mad at it. I don't feel any way about it. But for you guys out there saying, watch the full clips. Am I mistaken? Are we talking about meritocracy right now? Or are we still talking about demographics? You know, what people look like. And that's what makes him feel more comfortable. What he believes is excellence.
But there's just not an acknowledgement of certain constraining limitations here. And I think that's what's so troubling is in that clip, he doesn't acknowledge that there is structural and cultural reasons for this disparity. And so you're sitting here as like a potential victim in the back of the plane going like, oh my gosh, like he's just going to force this through. And he doesn't seem to care about the fact that if some people can't fly so good.
Some people can't fly so good. Woo, buddy.
They'd get boycotted
just have like
too
a
by
Chad
the
pilot.
No, look,
everything's going to be fine, man.
300 people. I hope I'm wrong. It's just someone's going to die because we could joke about this all we want.
Well,
you cannot have. It's very, very sophisticated. You hire people for sophisticated, high stakes, immediate call jobs with 50 checklist items, and you do not have competency as the core reason. Somebody's going to die.
Can I make two points? Charlie, you've been zeroing in on these issues, and I don't know if you've been doing it on the show as much or on the chat, but you say that's a red pill issue. Trust me, this is a red pill issue. And what we're really getting at is
I talk to a lot of normies.
Yeah, what you're really getting at, and see, this is why I've always been like migration,
yes.
or illegal immigration, whatever you want, because it's something that you feel very viscerally.
It's primal.
You walk on your streets and you're like, man, 10 years ago, my street used to have my neighbors on it, and now it doesn't. And there's all these people that don't speak my language, and it's very disorienting. And
so it's about people looking like them and speaking like them and engaging in the same practices that they engage in. It's not about anything else. It's about race. Okay? Full context.
And people will vote that way. We're seeing this upend the Western world, right? Guns are like this because it's very personal. You're trying to take something away that makes people safe. Mm-hmm. You're talking about the Chilean robbery rings.
Yes.
Because people are like, I don't feel safe in my home. And we can see from the crime statistics that they're going up. Inflation, it hits personally. And that's why I think this United story and the DEI story hits so hard, because we've all been in the back of a plane when the turbulence hits, or when you're flying through a storm and you're like, I'm so glad I saw the guy with the right stuff and the square jaw get into the cockpit before we took off.
Pause. What is happening right now? So I think this guy's already kind of displaying exactly what I'm talking about. He's showing that it's legacy preferences that allows him to feel more comfortable when he gets on a plane. It's what he's used to, is what he prefers. He automatically assumed that this white guy with the strong jawline, I don't even know what that's about, has the right stuff. For whatever reason, I guess because he's white and had a strong jawline, that's how he knew. I don't believe he necessarily needs to even ask the pilot his name, look up the pilot before he got on his flight to see who would be flying wherever to his destination. No. It's all about looks. And if you look right, you look white, you're good to go. Like, this is the context that you guys wanted.
And I feel better now thinking about that.
No, I mean, like, you want to go thought crime? Like, I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
Well, that's the
you wouldn't have done that. You wouldn't have done that before.
That's not an immediate.
No, you wouldn't have done that before.
That's not who I am. That's not what I believe.
It is the reality the left has created.
I want to be as blunt as possible, because now I'm connecting two dots. Wait a second. The CEO just said that he's forcing that a white qualified guy is not going to get the job. So I see this guy. He might be.
What makes you think that the white man is qualified, though? Even if they had access to planes growing up and everything like that, what if they weren't interested and it was their parents trying to force it on them? What if they weren't good at it? Like, the fact that you believe that a white person is qualified just because they are white, nothing else behind it, that's what makes it racist.
A nice person, I say, boy, I hope he's not a Harvard-style affirmative action student that has points for, and he landed half of his flight simulator trials.
That's the thing. It's
such a good point.
And by the way,
so fair.
It creates like unhealthy thinking patterns. I don't want to think that way.
No.
Yeah. And no one should, right? I mean, so then I kind of sit down and I'm like, boy, I hope he knows what he's. And by the way, then you couple it with the FAA, air traffic control. They got a bunch of morons and affirmative action people. Yeah, let's play cut 112.
All right, I don't want to go any further. I believe they're going to move on to James. I'm not going to watch James O'Keefe or anything that James O'Keefe provided, because he's fucking James O'Keefe. But I do want to be clear. I do understand what he's trying to imply. He's trying to say, that's not who I am to say something like that. But because of DEI, it puts a cloud of suspicion over any person of color that I see in a position like that. But that's more based on your inherent biases more than anything else. Because you see a person of color, you automatically assume that it's based on a quota. The minute you see a white person, you automatically believe that it's based on pure merit. Why? Because you're a racist.